Welcome to Tables, Hyperlinks, and Lists. Small fixes, big accessibility wins. My name is Valdez Bean, and I'll be taking you through this training today. To give you an overview of what we'll be talking about today, we'll start with tables with some examples. Then we'll talk about hyperlinks with some examples. And then finally, we'll talk about lists with some examples. Tables need to be formatted correctly, or they can pose accessibility issues. Tables should be used to present data, not to organize content or lay out a page. I'll show you some examples in Canvas, Word, and PowerPoint on how to insert and format tables correctly. Here we have an example Canvas page. If we want to add a table, we can go to Insert, Table, and add as many boxes as we'd like. There's also some formatting options available if you want to change something about your table. First, I want to point out something about formatting that is something that you have to do. When creating a table, we want to make sure that we are inserting headers. What do I mean by that? This type of assignment and percent of grade are our table headers. We'll code them as such in a minute, but they do have to be part of the table for us to then properly have headers. The great news is that the Canvas Accessibility Checker can help us code our tables properly so that they're accessible. Here, I'll just go ahead and click on my Canvas Accessibility Checker, and it'll tell me some of the things that it sees might be wrong with my table. The first is that our table should include a caption describing the contents of the page. I won't type it out now, but this example would be percent of grade for types of assignments, or assignments in the course. The next thing that it's caught is that tables should include at least one header. This is how we can set our headers for our table. For this table, our header row is our header, but some of them have a header column or a header row and column. So we want to make sure that we're choosing the one that fits our table the best. Then I'll hit apply, and it'll reflect that on our page. Here we are in Microsoft Word. If we want to add a table, we'll go to the Insert tab, then go to Table, and then we can choose how many boxes we want. I've gone ahead and imported that same table that we were using as an example in Canvas so I can show you how to format it properly in Word. We can click on our table and you'll see that Table Design and Table Layout both show up now as a tab. We'll start under our Table Design tab. We want to make sure that our header row is selected because our header row is the only header for this table. Next, we'll go to Table Layout, and we want to make sure that Repeat Header Rows is activated. You'll know it's activated when it's shaded in that box. We want this because if our table were to go over to the next page, we want our headers to also be displayed on that page for accessibility. As you can see, I've gone ahead and brought that same table over to PowerPoint. When we click on our table, you'll notice that Table Design and Table Layout both show up as a tab. We'll go to Table Design and make sure that our header row is selected. You'll notice that the formatting has changed, and that's because PowerPoint has different options if you have a header row versus not. Now, we won't have to worry about making sure that our headers are repeated on the next page because that's just not how PowerPoints work. But not to worry, your table is still accessible. Now on to hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are the only text that should be underlined in documents or on pages, and that's because it makes it really apparent what is a link and what is not. Links shouldn't be pasted directly on a page or document, and you can see an example here of a raw link. And this is because if you have someone who's using a screen reader, it encounters raw links like this as individual characters. So your student would get read out individual characters from this link, from H to 8. So what should you do instead? Hyperlinks should have descriptive text. For example, we have a link here that goes to Canvas. How do I create a hyperlink in the Rich Content Editor as an instructor? It's telling you where the link is going and also provides descriptive text for the link to attach to. It tells the user what to expect from the link. You should avoid saying click here or watch this video, as if you have more than one click here on a page or more than one watch this video, not only is it not giving context to where the user is going, but also it's really difficult to know which link you want to click on if they all say click here. I'll show you some examples of hyperlinks in Canvas, Word, and PowerPoint. Canvas offers two ways of formatting links in the rich content editor. The first is to paste your link on the page, then go to Link Options, and then you can either type or paste your descriptive text. When you hit Done, it will reflect on your page. The second option is to choose the text on your page that you want to be your descriptive text. Then you can hit the link icon, external link or course link, and then paste the link for your page. When you hit Done, it will be formatted correctly. Word also offers a couple of different ways to format links. The first is to paste your link on your page, then right-click on the link, hit Edit Hyperlink, and then you can paste your descriptive text into the Text to Display box. The other way is to highlight the text that you want to be your link, then right-click it, hit Link, and then paste your link in this address box. When you hit OK, it will format your link on the page, just like the first one. PowerPoint works much the same as Word documents do. You can paste your link on your page, right-click your link, hit Edit Link, and then insert your descriptive text in the Text to Display box. When you hit OK, it'll reflect on the page. The other way, like Word, is you can highlight the text that you want to be your link, right-click it, hit Link, and then insert your link in this address box. When you hit OK, it'll reflect on the page the exact same way as this first link does. When it comes to lists, some programs auto-populate lists when you type in space. However, this is not always the case. For example, Canvas does not auto-populate formatting for a list, so you need to ensure the list function is active when writing one. As you can see on this screenshot in the Rich Content Editor, there's a very handy button that allows you to open list formatting and gives you several different options of different lists that you can use on your Canvas page. Word documents and PowerPoints typically auto-populate lists when you write space. However, it's always best to double check because sometimes the programs don't pick it up. Here you can see I've opened the Home tab on both Word and PowerPoint. And there, under the paragraph area, you can see that it offers 3 different types of lists in Word and 2 types of lists in PowerPoint. When you're using a list, these will become shaded. So if you're writing a list and you want to double check that it's being coded properly, make sure that one of these are selected. This has been Tables, Hyperlinks, and Lists. Small fixes, big accessibility wins. My name is Valdez Bean, and thank you for joining me today.